Yes, hello, welcome to On the Bench, the only local TV sports show for Northern Lincolnshire and East Yorkshire, right here on Estuary TV. Well, on the show this week, we'll be taking a look at the sporting results from across the weekend, and as usual, we'll have the game highlights from Hull Stingrays' Saturday clash with Coventry Blaze. Tom Hardy's joining us after the break, but first, on the sofa, I'm delighted to say we have Kirsty Douglas and Sandra Ritchie from the roller derby team, the Grim Reavers, based in Cleethorpes, and a year on, they're still going strong. Kirsty, Sandra, good to see you.
Hi, nice to see you. Hi.
That's been a while, hasn't it, since you came in to see us?
Yeah, roughly about a year now, I think.
Yeah, so how have things moved on since we last spoke?
They're going really well. We've got 3 teams now based in Cleethorpes. We have the Reavers, which is our A team, Revettes, which is our B team, and the Brothers Grimm, which is our men's team.
So I think last time you only had the one team, didn't you?
One team, yeah, that's right.
Sandra, just remind us about the whole thing, the roller derby. It's got to be American, hasn't it?
Yeah, it was started in America about 1960s, about that.
Around about that time, yeah.
And how did the idea get off the ground in Grimsby?
Someone decided they wanted to try roller derby.
Yeah. Who was that?
Decided to set up a team,
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
What was it about the whole thing that excited you?
It just seemed really
exciting.
exciting. I knew some people that did it all over the country, and it just seemed something that I wanted to have a try at. And we didn't have a team locally, so within a couple of weeks I had a coach, which was Kirsty, and a lot of other people that wanted to try skating.
So you've been in there right from the start?
Yeah.
Just remind us the outline to the whole thing. How does it all work?
Kirsty's best at that.
Basically you have 5 people from each team. You have four people, which are the blockers, and one person, which is the jammer. They have a star on their helmet. The aim of the game is to pass people of the opposite team. Each person you pass, you get points for, but it's all about tactics and gameplay, and obviously physical contact as well.
Yeah, physical. That's the word, isn't it?
Yeah.
How physical is it?
Very physical. You have a lot of padding. You're padded up sort of head to toe, as well as a helmet and a gum shield. But you can only hit with your hip, your shoulder, or your bum.
So you can get injured?
There's a possibility, but like I say, there's all the safety gear there as well, so to make sure that's not.
And what about age-wise? Who's the youngest? Who's the oldest?
We only have from 18 upwards, but our oldest skater is actually 53, and there's a gentleman in America who's just played a game who's 74. So
74.
yeah, it's quite good.
Yeah, well, Sandra, what about the most common sort of injuries that you find you pick up?
Sore ankles.
Yeah.
Yeah, strains or pulled groins or something like that. It's never anything
twisted
major
ankles, in it, just a little.
I want to talk some more about the interest in a few minutes' time. That's obviously 3 teams from one. It speaks for itself. But how popular is it now?
We're doing quite well, actually. Yeah, in regards to the UK itself, there's plenty of teams around. Like I say, not a lot of people tend to know about it, but there's plenty of leagues and teams out there.
And where does Grimsby, Cleethorpes figure alongside other teams in the country? How far ahead of the game are you?
Yeah, we're fairly new. Like I say, we're going to be part of what's called the UK RDA, which is the Roller Derby Association in the UK. We eventually want to work up to be part of the overall league, which is the WFTDA as well.
Always on the lookout for new members?
Always,
yeah. Always.
Yeah. Welcome, everyone.
Yeah. Splendid. Oh, that's good to hear anyway. Good news. So I say we'll talk some more in just a moment too, Kirsty and Sandra there. Well, let's move on now and introduce you to Antonia Cox. Antonia is our new VT presenter. She discovers just how the Grim Reavers has changed since we last visited. Have a look at this.
Hi guys, I'm Antonia and I am at Cleethorpes Leisure Centre this evening with the local Grimsby roller derby team, the Grim Reavers. For those of you who don't know, Matt Denson was here a year previously and I'm back tonight to find out their progress and how they're getting on. I'm so excited about this, guys. Let's check it out. Hi Kirsty, I'm Antonia, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So you want to tell me a little bit about the club?
Yeah, of course. We're the Grim Reavers. We're the first roller derby team in Grimsby and we've been going for about 2 years now.
Fantastic. And what is the actual aim of the game then?
So we've got all the safety padding, it is full contact, but obviously it's a lot about tactics and gameplay as well, so it's really good.
Oh wow, so it's quite a rough game then, would you say?
Yeah, it is a rough game. It's full contact. We have a lot of safety padding though, so we are kept safe. It's a lot about tactics as well.
And so where did the actual game originate from? Because I know a lot of people like myself have probably never heard of roller derby. Where's it from?
Yeah, it originated in Texas. There's actually a lot of teams in the UK now, but like I say, we're the first local team and we like to promote it in the local area.
Because I know we interviewed you last year. How far have you progressed from last year?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, we've progressed loads. We get a lot more people through the door now. We've also got a fitness trainer, as you can see behind me, and we're soon to be getting into our public games as well. So the public will know who we are now.
How have things changed?
Yeah, we've changed quite a bit actually. We get a lot more numbers through the door now. We have between 40 and 50 people that sort of recycle in on a Tuesday and a Sunday. We also train co-ed, which means we train with men and women together. We've also got a few of our skaters that are skating in other teams as well, and we'll have our public game hopefully February, March next year.
And I've noticed that you've got some really interesting skate names. What's your skate name?
My skate name's Bury the Hatchet. In roller derby, names tend to be sort of a pun. It's either a name you come up as sort of an alternative ego sometimes to get away from boring and basic, but also people like them to be sort of a bit fun and a bit witty. So my last name is Bury, so I thought, oh, Bury the Hatchet.
Ah, so it's a bit like a stage name then, really,
Sort of, yes.
So what is it that you actually love about the sport then?
To be honest, it's just really good to find a sport which is sort of geared towards women. Most sports, you know, football, it's all about men. I mean, there are women's teams, but you don't really find any sports which are, you know, forefront women playing them, which is what I really like.
Search for the Grim Reavers. We've got a website that's under development at the moment, but we've also got a Facebook page as well. So you're more than welcome to pop on there and we can get you started.
Well, I've had a fantastic time down at Cleethorpes Leisure Centre with the Grim Reavers tonight, and it's clear to see that years pass and they're doing absolutely brilliant. Better things are coming their way. 1, 2, 3, Grim Reavers!
Good to see Antonia there showing us the Grim Reavers. Look forward to seeing more from her. Kirsty and Sandra from the Grim Reavers on the sofa here with me. We talked a bit about the league, didn't we, Kirsty, a few minutes ago? Let's just look at the individual parts of that league now. The men, for instance, tell us some more about
Yeah, of course.
that.
Like I say, a lot of people tend to think it's a women's sport, but there's a lot of men that's involved. Obviously, we have a men's team that's sort of up and coming at the moment, but they want to start, you know, we want to recruit men as much as possible as with the women. We do what's called co-ed scrimmages and games.
Hang on, what's that all about?
Sorry, co-ed basically means that men and women train together.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously we benefit from their, you know, strength as well as they do ours.
How well does that work?
It works really well, actually. Yeah, a lot of people tend to build their confidence by training with men. It sort of brings the fire out of you, if you like. It's always good fun. We also have 2 men from Lincolnshire who are part of the Team England team. And they come and train with us on a regular basis, so we've got a great relationship with them.
That's good, so real success story. Sandra, what about this, the men, women, sort of, there's a bit of competition in there, a bit of competitive spirit there?
There can be, but mainly that everyone helps each other. That's the main goals of the team. The men bring different skills to the women, to the team, and we all help each other.
Yeah. What about the coaching side of it? Because obviously you're wanting to bring people on. It sounds like you're doing things properly. If you've got guys representing,
yeah, definitely. Like I say, basically,
who does the coaching?
Yeah, it's 2 gentlemen called Toots and Tomahawk. That's their skate name. They are part of Lincolnshire Rolling Thunder, which is the men's team, and they also skate for Team England. So they come over probably once a month with us. They'll probably do like a 3 or 4 hour session with our ladies and our gents. And we also have a lady who's called Uma Thumpin from London who also.
Hang on, what's that name again? Let's catch that.
Uma Thumpin.
Yeah.
Similar to Uma Thurman, but obviously. Yeah. It needs to be a bit more fierce if it's roller derby related.
Yeah, the clue's in the name, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But no, they're really nice. We've built up a good relationship with a lot of local teams as well, so we'll be doing a lot of practice games with them, and we're coming along strong.
What do you gauge local interest to be? Because you play behind closed doors, don't you?
We do at the moment, yeah. We're just training and sort of building our knowledge of the game itself, and obviously getting everyone up to speed with that. Eventually we will be going public, which will hopefully be sort of February, March next year.
And where will those games be played?
Hopefully at Grimsby Leisure Centre, if all goes well. If not, it could well be in Hull, but it's only a short distance away to travel. It's just because they have bigger arenas there, that's all.
What about roller derby in Cleethorpes, Sandra? How big can it be? How big can it get?
I'm hoping it can be quite big. We have a lot of interest. We have a lot of people turn up, new starters come every week. We have new starters every week through the doors to try it out. Some stay, some don't find it suitable for them.
I mean, the main thing is that for women and for men, it's sort of an alternate sport. If you wasn't originally into sport, like a lot of our ladies weren't, this is something that's great fun. It's very team orientated, and we're like one big family. So
when people come along for the first time, what do they expect, do you think?
They seem quite nervous when they come through. They think we're quite scary because we are a big team and we've been together for a couple of years.
And you find most of them come back for another helping?
Oh, definitely, yeah. For example, we had one lady who joined last week who's already purchasing all of her own kit, so she's very excited. You tend to get what's called a sort of derby buzz. As soon as you've done it once, you want to do it over and over again.
Is it quite an expensive sport?
It can be, yeah. Some skates range from around about £100 to about £800, depending on what you want.
Gosh.
Yeah, so it can be quite expensive.
Yeah, so watch this space and you're always on the lookout for new members.
Definitely. We've also got a birthday bash because it's our 2-year anniversary this year. We'll be holding that at the Matrix on the 29th of November.
Okay, we'll remind watchers and viewers of that very soon. Thanks very much for
Thank
that,
you very much.
Sandra and Kirsty. Well, before we go to a break, let's just take a quick look at results from across the region, across the weekend. Here's Team Talk. Well, Grimsby Town took the lead through Nathan Arnold, only for Altrincham to snatch an equaliser in the 90th minute. Lincoln City against Eastleigh was postponed in bizarre circumstances after a fire at the team's hotel prevented the Imps from being able to play. More on that shortly. Scunthorpe United was also postponed due to international action. North Ferriby drew with Fylde, and finally from football, Cleethorpes Town thrashed Maltby Main 5-1. In rugby, Market Raisin and Louth dominated Belgrave 36-7. Skegness lost at home to Worksop 19-6. Cleethorpes narrowly lost at home to Buxton 14-16. Grimsby were also beaten at home 5-0 by Chesterfield. And finally, in lacrosse, Hull lost away against Lincoln 17-9. Well, that's all we have time for the first half. Stay with us, though, for part 2. Tom Hardy will be joining us to discuss Team Talk as well as bringing his reflection on this week's sport. We'll also be bringing you the latest Hull Stingrays highlights where they played Coventry Blaze. Not to forget, we'll also be looking through the papers to find some interesting local sporting news. As always, if you want to get in touch with us to let us know your views on anything up for discussion on the show, do tweet us at OnTheBenchTV, or you can send us an email to onthebench@estuarytv. See you shortly.
Played out in front, Ben Arndt. Nice pass across to Rawley, he'll shoot, tipped! Oh! By Tate.
What a lovely finish there, Ed. Just watch that one again. That was a beautiful pass across. Rawley pops it in, Ashley Tate is just waiting to finish it off.
Welcome back. With me in the studio, Kirsty Douglas and Sandra Ritchie from the Grim Reavers roller derby team, and joining us, and I'm delighted to say, Tom Hardy. Hi, Tom.
Hello, Rob.
Let's talk first about the Lincoln City game, all the way to Eastleigh for nothing, deprived of a game of football for all concerned.
Yeah, for absolutely nothing. Obviously, the players will be disappointed, but the fans even more so because the money they've had to pay, if they've had to stay over down in Southampton, that way on. And obviously missing the game as well. That's what they go down there for. They don't go down for the trip. So they've missed a good game of football.
I was down there covering the game for the BBC, but for fans who've paid and made that long trip, double disappointment. They were down there the week before, weren't they, as well? Yeah,
it's so frustrating. The fans make these trips, you know, and sometimes you think, do the clubs really think about that? Do they appreciate it? Obviously, this was out of their hands. But the fans will, you know, they'll be having to make the trip again in the future when the game gets rearranged.
What do you make of the nature of the postponement? From the moment the story broke on social media, there was the fire, then the players couldn't get back into the hotel. They were talking about a delayed kick-off till 4 o'clock, but then it just carried on. Was there any way that game could have been played, do you think?
Well, I don't know. It's very strange. It's a bit farcical how it's happened. Usually you'd know, obviously, well in advance if there were problems, congestion and those sort of things. But a fire in a hotel is very bizarre. It's sort of Fawlty Towers-esque, sort of.
And the players' frame of mind as well, after all that.
Yeah, it'll have been affected, definitely. And if they had started the game at 4 o'clock, like you said, would Lincoln have been in the right frame of mind about it? It might have put them on the back seat. So it might be an advantage in a way that they've not had to rush the game. But for the fans, it's obviously not an advantage at all.
Another evening game, and hopefully refunds for the travelling Imps fans as far as Eastleigh are concerned. Let's touch on our other local sides. Grimsby at Altrincham slipped up there.
Disappointing, yeah, massive slip up. I think after the results lately, Grimsby would have hoped to have got all 3 points there. Obviously 1-0, 90th minute, and they couldn't hold on to the lead. It just shows you 1-0 in that league is not enough. Just
no game for Scunthorpe United, but looking at the progress made since Mark Robbins joined the club, what do you make of it?
Very good, very good. It's looked positive. He's brought in a few players as well on loan, hoping to sort of bolster the ranks. Hopefully they will now climb up the league. They've got Crawley in the next game this weekend. And
looking ahead to the weekend, of course, the international break halted Premier League action. Hull City against Spurs. How do you see it?
A difficult game, another difficult game. Hull have got a difficult run in and they're struggling for goals at the moment, so it's going to be a little bit of a struggle. Tottenham obviously struggling as well, so have to see how they get on there.
Prediction?
2-1 Spurs.
All right, okay, no sitting on the fence. Thanks, Tom. Well, let's look at the Saturday's game for Hull Stingrays now against Coventry Blaze after their win 4-3 at home on Sunday.
It was Kao Tanaka harassed by Davis, played out in front, Ben Arndt. Nice pass across to Rawley, he'll shoot, tipped! Oh! By Tate.
What a lovely finish there, Ed. Just watch that one again. That was a beautiful pass across. Rawlik pops it in. Ashley Tate is just waiting to finish it off.
Kind of bounced off Bocek's stick awkwardly. Rawlik looks to stuff it. Oh, and a nice bounce. And
it's gone in. I think Venus, is that Venus still?
Yeah, it came off Ross Venus.
Yeah, Venus put it in there and it came off the skate of the defenceman, I think.
Yeah, you just see it come off Omar Pasha there. Good play by Rory Rawlik. He was
absolutely. He was really putting lots of pressure on there.
Down low looking for Gertson. Pass just off the toe of his stick. Oh. And that was a bad giveaway by Da Costa. Havato in on Stewart. Deeks and scores. Zach Havato. He's been threatening all night. And the Stingrays short-handed unit gets them back within one. Poor attempted pass from Da Costa. And a very, very nice move from Havato. Really, really in trouble there. Craig Sescon. And they'll take advantage and put one in.
Big hole at the back. You can see he takes that knock on the foot.
And the
struggling.
Yeah, really struggling to get back, and the Stingrays will finish. Since taking that one to the foot, O'Mara. And dresses a Stingray!
Oh my gosh! Oh, he's enjoying that one. You see him pick it up just by his own face-off zone all the way through. Ah.
Yeah, wow, Ed. He undressed Kyle Lazon quicker than Kim Kardashian earlier in the week. And the Stingrays net. Finds Rawlik. O'Mara. Gertson in front of net. Back to Rawlik. Shoots just low.
Oh, yes. And Sindel jumps onto the rebound.
Well, we were just talking about these nice bounces the Blaze are getting. Here's one off the backboard. Rawlik's shot falls right out in front of Sindel. From a nasty angle, manages to beat Brown on his Blaze home debut. He lights the lamp. Back up to the point. Kyle Lauzon. Pasha. Interesting kind of rotating system here for the Stingrays. Overloading that wing. Pasha flips it down low, was taking a tip in front, and Matty Davis will convert. It took a tip in the slot on the way to Stewart.
Yeah.
He made the first save, but the second, Matty Davis made no mistake with stuffed it home. Shot comes in, you see it's redirected horribly. In a minute and 7 seconds, if nothing changes, the Blaze have what the Stingrays want. They have some points. So you need to just keep it cool.
And the whole netminder's gone.
Smith lands a good hit. Comes to the point, Lauzon, he fumbled it. Now he's got Ashley Tate all over him. Gertson and O'Mara are also pinched up high. 45 seconds to go. Tate, he'll play it out. But not away, here's Steve Gertson. Twists. Oh, and his shot was blocked as he went for the empty net. Tate's there. He gets crunched.
Again.
Yeah, looked like he felt that one, Ashley Tate. Been in the wars tonight. Davis with speed, 10 seconds to go. Gertson couldn't clear. Shot comes in from Havato as he was diving.
4 seconds. 3, 2, 1.
And that will be it. The Blaze do enough to close that one out.
Wow.
Something they've struggled to do this year.
Pretty desperate stuff in those last couple of minutes there, Ed. Yeah. Could have quite easily been an empty netter for Gertson or Tate, but it wasn't to be.
Well, commiserations there for Hull Stingrays with their 4-3 defeat against Coventry Blaze. It was a close game at the end, wasn't it? Watching ice hockey, Sandra, how similar do you think it is to roller derby? What sort of parallels can you draw with the game?
It's a contact sport, but I did want to suggest that we tried roller derby on ice.
Oh, yeah?
That would be quite fun, I think.
It has been done in America before, actually.
Has it?
Yeah, obviously we don't have a hockey stick or a puck at all. It's just female contact. But
what was the response when you suggested that?
They all thought I was crazy. No one sort of took me up on it, but I think now we're on telly saying it, then they should.
Yeah. What about the competitive side? How does it compare with ice hockey?
Well, I mean, in any sport, there's obviously a sense of competitiveness. I think people get surprised at the amount of, how ladies are competitive. And I think that, ice hockey, there's a lot of fights, whereas there isn't in although it's contact, there isn't necessarily any fist fights or anything like that. It's done strategically.
Yeah. Tom, does that add to it, the excitement, the fights, the punch-ups? They always seem to happen, don't they?
Definitely, yeah. I want to get involved. Not with the fights, and I can't skate either, so I don't think we're very good. But I think it does definitely. In ice hockey, you can see when the fights kick off, that's when all the fans really love it.
One thing that's always baffled me, they talk about in football, violence on the field or on the pitch tends to breed violence on the terraces. What about ice hockey, roller derby? Because it seems to happen a lot, doesn't it? Particularly in ice hockey. Does it necessarily follow, do you think, that the crowd, will tend to get involved as well?
Not necessarily. I think everyone's just quite, happy to be at a roller derby game and they get really enthusiastic. There's never any sort of fights there at all.
I've never seen any.
No.
Have you been a lot to ice hockey?
I've been to ice hockey, yeah. There's a lot of fights there. It's quite fun to watch, actually. It's quite interesting.
All right. I'll wait till the crowds come and watch you, and we'll find out. Well, let's look at paper talk now. And Tom, first of all, looking at the local papers, the sports pages, what have you got for us?
Yeah, we've got the back of the Grimsby Telegraph here, Rob. We're having a look at Grimsby. The back page headline is Promotion Hunt Still on Course. And there's a few quotes here from Paul Hurst saying we have to be humble and respect the point we've got at Altrincham, which I think is a little bit wrong, to be honest, because I think we've only taken 2 points from 6 against Altrincham this season. They're 18th in the league. Really should be taking 6, all 6 against teams like that of that stature. If Town are wanting to go up and be serious about promotion, I think Paul Hurst really has got to be looking at winning those sort of games.
What about the cup defeat to Oxford? Was that the wrong type of distraction at that time, do you think, for them?
Possibly was, and I don't think Town put up enough of a fight against a League 2 team that are also struggling. I think they should have done better in that game, especially at home. But we've seen Town have got some positive results in the weeks gone by, and they can't beat teams like Altrincham, no disrespect to them, but they're in the lower ends of the Conference Premier.
Yeah. Sandra, what have you got for us?
Oh my God, I don't know.
The story. Have you got a story for us in the paper?
Yeah, I have a story about the Stingrays beating Coventry.
Yeah, just show it up to the camera there so we can see. It's in the Hull Daily Mail. We're just picking up. We talked about the reaction, didn't we, and the interest locally. I suppose the papers have a great responsibility, don't they, as well, to promote sports like this. If you're picking it up and seeing it in the sports pages, then you're going to take more interest, aren't you?
Yeah, it's the first story I saw when I looked through this paper. I've never seen it in the Grimsby paper, though.
Because we see football so much, don't we, mentioned. I've got a story here, actually, as well. Let's just show that one to the camera there. Caister Hillside Bowls Club. Good to see them getting a picture in the paper there. They won the Grimsby League Division 1 title. They're now preparing for life in the Premier Division. So it's great that maybe the minority sports are getting some good publicity as well.
Yeah,
definitely. That's always a good thing.
I think we made it in the paper once.
Yeah, when we first started, we made it in the paper. And we know quite a few people that can get it back in there when we start.
Keep yourselves in the headlines. Yeah. Well, it's time now for Hardy's Reflection.
Thank you, Rob. Firstly, tennis, and a bit of a strange one. Roger Federer came through an epic ATP World Tour semi-final encounter against Swiss teammate Stan Wawrinka, only to pull out of the final against Novak Djokovic, claiming he wasn't fit. You've got to feel sorry for the fans, like the Lincoln fans earlier, who had bought tickets to watch the match. Instead, they got to watch a couple of exhibition games. Djokovic lifted the trophy without hitting a single ball. In rugby union, England will be mightily disappointed to have lost to South Africa in their latest international. A bit concerning as that now makes it 2 defeats in a week at Twickenham for Stuart Lancaster's men. I woke up on Saturday morning to catch the end of a thrilling Rugby League Four Nations final. It looked as if Australia were going to come back into the game towards the end, but New Zealand held firm to lift the title. And last but not least, football. After another incredibly boring first half, England seemed to liven up as Slovenia scored, and the match actually became bearable as they went on to win 3-1.
Thanks so much, Tom. Don't forget some more from Tom with On the Bench Extra, where they discuss all the local football news here on S Street TV on Saturdays at 10. For now, though, many thanks to Kirsty and to Sandra from the Grim Reavers, Roller Derby team, to Tom as well. Thanks so much, Tom.
Thanks, Rob.
And we'll see you again next week for On the Bench. Bye for now.